Class 1 Chapter 12, Introduction to Customer Behavioral Processes. Introduction. Consumer behavior can be defined as the dynamic interaction of affect and cognition, behavior, and environmental events by which human beings conduct the exchange aspects of their lives. Consumer affect is related with the feelings about events or products. Tourists can like or dislike a product, can be favorable or unfavorable and include emotions. However, consumer cognition is related with the beliefs about a particular product, mental structures, knowledge or beliefs that consumers have developed from their memories and experiences from, for example, previous visits to a destination. Consumer behavior is related with the actions of consumers that can be directly observed, indirectly deduced or measured by others. This can include behaviors like shopping at stores, buying a product or using a credit card. However, consumer behavior is influenced by a number of factors which feature as the consumer environment. The consumer environment is related with everything external to consumers that influences what they think, feel or do. People can be influenced for different groups like culture, reference group or family. This is very important for all marketing strategies because it is the medium to stimuli and influence consumer. It is also important to know that all these elements have a strong relationship between them. If then consumer has a bad experience or feeling in one of these areas, it is possible that this beliefs affect in a negative way in the other areas. This change in the consumer behavior can be an advantage for other competitors, and therefore it is important to understand these interrelationships. According to Klaus G. Gernit and Jerry C. Olson, there are three important concepts in this definition. The first one is dynamic. This means that the consumer behavior is constantly changing. For this reason, the companies need to study their target audience frequently because it is common that the profile of their consumers change with the passage of the time. 2. The second one is involve interactions. This involves what the consumer think, what the consumer want, or what environmental events can influence in their behavior. 3. The last one is involve exchanges between human beings. For example, consumers will sometimes be persuaded more by logical arguments, or more by emotional or symbolic appeals. Understanding these issues helps the companies to adapt their strategies by taking the consumer into consideration. The study of consumer behavior focuses on how individuals make decisions to spend their available resources, time, money, effort, on consumption-related items. It involves the activities that consumers engage in while searching for, selecting, purchasing, using and evaluating various product and service choices. Objective. This chapter is intended to provide the student with a background on aspects of consumer behavior. A review of the theories behind consumer behavior processes has been highlighted to enable the student to grasp on the basics in consumer behavior. Further, the factors that affect consumer behavior are featured in this lecture. At the end of this lecture, the student will be required to understand the latent factors that affect consumer behavior. 2. Relate to the various theories behind consumer behavior. 3. Apply the acquired knowledge to the study of tourist behavior. Levels of analysis of consumer behavior. Macro-analysis. Macro-analysis is concerned with examining collective tourism movements in terms of number of visitors, trips and revenue generated from them. Deals with data such as arrivals per country, attraction admission numbers, flight loadings, hotel occupancy rates, visitor spending and so on. The main determinants of demand at the macro level are economic, for example, prices, CPI, demographic, for example, disposable income levels, geographic. Comparative prices. Government/regulatory. Media communications. Socio-cultural, the tastes, habits and preferences of potential buyers. Note, these factors are external to any individual business and beyond direct control. Marketers need to continuously monitor social and economic environments. Macro-analysis is concerned with who, where, how much and how many. Micro-analysis. is concerned with the social and psychological factors that lie behind group and individual tourist choices. One asks questions such as: what makes people engage in tourism? What are their motivations? How do people make their tourism choices and what influences them? What affects their perceptions and images of destinations, attractions and other tourism choices? This is the focus of psychology/consumer behavior studies. Microanalysis is concerned with individual influences, internal and external influences, social, why and how questions.